saw you, Ingmar. You were having fun over there. Clapping away. I love it. All right, so in your program it says one step at a time, but the full title is One Step at a Time with the End in Mind. It was just a little too much to put my hand out. One small step with the end in mind. Have any of you seen this commercial where you see a woman taking one bite of broccoli?
Oh, yeah.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
And then you see a man getting all dressed out in his workout clothes, and he gets down on the floor and he goes, one push-up. Okay, good. He's done. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
You get it, right? It's some vitamin commercial telling you that you really can't just do one and done. But the idea, if we can be healthy by one bite of broccoli and by one push-up, I would especially like the one push-up part. Just hold that visual in your mind. So in this philosophy, we've got two really big main teachings. One of them is that as a spiritual being, we are already whole and perfect and complete just as we are. Nothing to change and nothing to fix. That is really wonderful to hear, isn't it? Because as humans tend to give ourselves a hard time. I am whole, I'm complete, I'm perfect, I'm a child of God already. Nothing to change and nothing to fix. The other message is, as a human being, I'm always changing. And I'm always growing. And I'm always evolving. And there's always something to learn. And there's always another goal and another accomplishment. We seem to be wired that way. We seem to be wired for go for the next thing. Go for the next thing. It's a good thing. It's what keeps us moving to accomplishments, right? We achieve a certain level of accomplishment, we want more. Seems to be our natural humanness. But along the way, when we're growing and achieving and moving towards the next accomplishment, we often give ourselves a really hard time because maybe we're not going fast enough. But those two things I want to establish. So we're whole and we're perfect and complete, nothing to change, nothing to fix. And as human beings, we're always changing, we're always growing, we're always moving and evolving. They're not contradictory. They work together. And everything else that we teach here is about why these are true and how to interact with them. So today I wanted to keep those two things in mind. As a human being, we are always evolving. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, says to us over and over and over in his writings that we must be able to conceive an idea. We must be able to conceive the possibility and even the inevitability of that outcome. And he also goes on to say that the more imagination, the more we can see it and feel it, the better. But if he says that if we can't even conceive of something being possible, guess what? It ain't. That's how we interact with it. So we have to be able to conceive an idea as being possible and being probable. We have to know that ahead of time. Sometimes we spend time picturing what we don't want. Anybody do that? We spend time picturing the things that we don't want to happen. When we spend too much time picturing what we don't want to happen, we're putting our energy in the likelihood in the fact that that probably will happen. So our philosophy spends a lot of time on how do we shift that? How do we get our minds out of the, oh my gosh, I don't want that thing to happen, to, oh my gosh, I want this thing to happen. And how do we do that? So our founder also talks a whole lot about how our energy goes out before us. And as we can conceive of that wonderful thing, so let's say you're going for a new degree at school, or you're going for a new job, or you need to move and you want a most perfect house. Whatever those things might be for you. That we have to believe that those things are possible. And then our energy goes out and actually begins to draw those things toward us. Our energy is the drawing force. It brings in what we mentally image. Now, I'm only going to talk about it in a really good way, because we already know that we can do it in a not so good way. what we want to see for our lives, if we can keep conceiving them as even being possible, we begin to energetically draw that toward us, what we hold in our mind. And we are drawn toward it. So I imagine it like a great magnet. And there's really truth to that, isn't there, Mary Simpson? About the whole magnetic thing happening. So as we mentally image it, we are bringing ourselves closer and closer. It's coming towards us, and we are moving towards it, whatever it is. So that's the first premise, is holding that. Yesterday, I met with a group of people, largely my core council, also known as the board, and my practitioners. A couple other people who are in leadership positions. We spent the day together in a retreat type setting. And what the retreat focused on was evolution for this center, for what we are here, what we do. How we might grow in a very organic, evolutionary way. And we also spent time talking about organizational models that will help make that happen. And so we talked about what it is, we brainstormed, we did meditation where we could feel it, and we just really popped open our imagination about what we can be and how we can get there. And this, we spent quite a few hours exploring this idea. And then we got all these things on a poster about brainstorming, and there were so many great ideas. And we left it right there. We didn't take any steps towards, now how are we going to make this happen? We just left it in this great idea phase. Because what I know will happen next is the implementation of it. Some things are going to organically happen very quickly, and other things are going to take some planning, and they're going to take some teamwork, and they're going to take lots of prayer, and they're going to take bringing all of you along with us in consciousness until we move into this new model, this new way of being. And what that new way of being is to reach more of us out there who are looking for what we have. But the implementation of it was not our concern yet. So at this point, it's just the vision, the openness to believe and to conceive of the ideas. How it works itself out will be one step at a time, with the end in mind. One step at a time is absolutely enough. And that's really good for us on an individual level. So call to mind, if you will, some area of your own personal life where you might be criticizing yourself for how you're moving, where you might be feeling like you're not good enough or that you're unworthy of a particular good. Maybe you're being really, really impatient with your progress. Maybe you're frustrated. Just call something to mind. I'm going to just presume that everybody can find something there. All right, so if you've got that in your mind, that feeling of unworthiness, the feeling of self-criticism, the feeling of impatience and frustration, all normal. All normal feelings. And yet they don't feel very good, do they? I know when I'm frustrated, oh my gosh, that's the last thing I want to feel. Get me a glass of wine. Or two. This is true. On a very human thing, we don't want things to take time, and we don't want to feel frustrated. And when we finally realize, oh my gosh, I've been feeling unworthy. I'm heading towards the school, but I really don't feel like I deserve it. When we come up against that, and we realize that that's going on, it doesn't feel very good. And yet, it's a very normal feeling. It's something that I remind myself all the time. It's become part of my spiritual practice to say, one step at a time is enough with the end in mind. Because if I take our founder's words literally, when he says, we must be able to conceive of that good. That means right here and now, even in the middle of my frustration, even if I'm feeling like I don't deserve it, I still practice conceiving of the possibility of the end in mind. That's how we don't stagnate, keeping that idea in mind, even in the midst of not feeling so great about it. One of my favorite go-to people is Louise Hay. She talks a whole lot about getting off your own back, loving yourself, knowing that you are worthy, deserving all your good. If you've never read any Louise Hay, she's a beautiful, easy-to-read woman who makes it so simple that you just need to love yourself. Makes it sound like it's easy.